Well, here's where's Article 1, Section 8. Up to Article 1, Section 8, it's mainly all about
the political class.
It's all about how they're gonna, how they're gonna get elected, how old they have to be. Talks about bills and how bills will originate in the Senate and in the House. And then you get to Article 1, Section 8. Article 1, Section 8 says, this is the main purpose of the Constitution right here. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. And then you have a semicolon and it goes, to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states. And it lists all these things, but it's all in context of they can tax you for this purpose. So basically, like, as far as I'm concerned, the Constitution.
They have money to run the government.
So how? Yeah, but I think, like, I'm against. I don't believe in taxes. I don't think that the government should be able to, like, force people to contribute money. I think it should be. I think people should just put in whatever they want to put in and whatever they.
Yeah, but then a lot of people wouldn't put in anything.
No, that's incorrect, because let's say you have a big business. It's in your best interest to continue the status quo. How often do you? If you have a big business.
General Electric doesn't pay.
Right, but that is how it would be funded. So if you don't fund the government, then guess what? We're not going to take care of you either.
Yeah.
The people who are making lots of money would pay for the way, it would just be a barometer of how, if the government's doing a good job, there's lots of prosperity, there's lots of freedom. Okay, here, I'll give you some money. Here, I'll give you something. It's voluntary. You're doing a great job. No, but the way they operate, it's all done in coercion. It's all stolen. They have to. The only way they can get the money is by stealing it.
So that's basically it.
Well, I had a judge threaten me with violence the other day in the court.
Really?
Yeah, I wore my hat and I got it recorded too. Yes. Yeah. He goes, you need to take off that hat. I said, I invoke the common law in this court. And he goes, if you don't get out of here, I'm going to call security. So I said, oh, so you're threatening me with violence? He goes, yes, I'm threatening you with violence.
You're joking.
And I got it. I go, okay,
What was the judge's name?
It was Harold. Huh?
What court? Scottsdale?
No, over here in
really?
in Phoenix. I'm going to jack him up. I am going to jack his ass up.
Absolutely. I won't. Right? Does he have to invoke violence against you?
Right.
The initiation of violence is always wrong.
Right. So did you go out? So it looks like you got a lot of camera crews here. They got. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
This is an occupation. What?
I said until the cops arrest you,
Who are you with?
Downtown Devil.
Okay.
Student-run publication.
I've been following you guys on Twitter.
Have you?
And I definitely appreciate the level of participation that you guys have had versus big media that they've been, there's rumors, and I haven't actually seen it, but there's rumors that Channel 15 said neo-Nazis were participating.
Oh, that's in this?
Yeah.
That's really bad. Hey, could I get your name, please?
It's Kathleen Gordon, KATHLEEN GORDON.
Okay. And
and what's your name?
I'm Jack Fitzpatrick with the Downtown Devil.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And could you sort of give me an overview again of when you got here and how long you would like to stay, even if you're not completely sure?
Well, I was here yesterday at the plaza from 11 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. And then I had to go to work. But then tonight I showed up around between 7:30 and 8. I don't know the exact time. And then I plan on being here until things seem to be escalating on the police side. I don't want to be arrested. I want to continue to be able to show up. So for a while, and then I'll keep coming back every day, showing up wherever the occupation is happening.
Okay. Can you? What's your opinion on like how important is it for this protest to keep going on, even if it's at a low level, like on a Monday or Tuesday when people are working, just to keep coming back over and over again? Why do that as opposed to what normal protests would do and have like one day?
Because showing up on a regular basis there's an impact that is had on whatever it is that you're doing. With a protest, much like, just with a protest, there's this level of importance that comes along with the fact that people start showing up on a regular basis. When I started following the Occupy Wall Street, there was this level of that it started to get bigger. Unfortunately, I think with Phoenix, the problem is that it might start to get smaller because of the fear that's associated with participating in the Phoenix Occupy. And I think that was definitely a very smart tactic on the Phoenix police. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't want to let the fear get in the way of what this movement is all about, which is the 99%.
Okay. Do you think that'll help almost like recruit people who come by and see this and maybe had heard of it but are tempted to join in it on some level because they see people out here on any given day?
I would hope so. I think the part of it is there's also the presence of the police. The second that I rode up on my bike, I could sense that the police were over there, even though that they were all in the shadows. And then any sort of uprising of some sort, no matter whether if it's judged as positive or negative, they immediately lined up. And there was a presence of police, visibly noticed. So I think that continues to elicit a sense of fear within the people that are driving by, that are walking by, that are riding by on the bike taxis or on their bikes themselves.
But by sitting here, we're letting them know that we're not afraid of the police, so they shouldn't be afraid of the police.
Yeah, well,
because if everybody wasn't afraid of the police, you know what? We wouldn't have the problems that we have.
Right.
Do you think that it being 100 degrees or even just people maybe struggling to get water, even though I know there have been a lot of donations and that kind of thing, especially with the heat though, do you think that's gonna sort of make it more difficult to keep this going on for a long period of time?
I think a really good metaphor or analogy here is travelers. Travelers are disinclined to travel to Arizona in the summer because it is so hot, but a lot of people still show up because they're still interested by what Arizona has to offer. And I think this movement, especially within Phoenix, this movement has a lot to offer in terms of hope to counter that fear. And I think that will continue to have people show up because they know it's important, because one, it's important to themselves, they know the importance, and two, because people, they're going to start showing up because it's going to be important to their community.
And can you even just give me a ballpark, what date do you think it's likely that you'll stop coming here?
Never.
Never?
No, I'll come every day.
What if you're 50 years old?
No, I'll still come. It's still important. I think though, what the better question here is a better ballpark of what date will this sort of movement become either violent or completely dissipate. I think history kind of goes to show that these sorts of movements either dissipate or become violent. And it's just a matter of at what point will it become violent and who elicits that violence first. And I think last night kind of shows that the police are prepared to to counter it in a way that, gives off a sense of violence. I don't know if that was entirely eloquent, but I tried.
And you go to ASU, right? I'm sorry. What year and major are you?
I'm a mathematics and English major. I'm a double major, so I'm a super senior.
Oh, mathematics and English. Those are like opposites.
No, they're not. They're languages.
They are?
Yeah, I study mathematics, pure mathematics, so it's more of like a language.
Okay.
So.
Okay, all right. All right, well, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for definitely coming down and looking at this with a critical eye. So I appreciate that.